start the recording? Yeah. So 3.14. So Krishna has made a wonderful arrangement. Creation is there naturally. The creation has to be taken care, and caring can happen when you think about others. There's always a parasparam bhava, like in your house also. You care your family members, they care you. In the same way, this whole creation is given, this whole responsibility is given to the demigods, and they are responsible to give us the the things, material things, what we desire. And again, it is given because of the potency of Krishna. Without his permission, impossible. So then, it is the duty of the men to return it in the same way. Respect them, return them. So in this way, parasparam bhavam happens. Now, in the 13th verse, very tactfully, Krishna says, Santaha. This word Santaha has been used. That means a devotee. A devotee, Yagya Shishta Shina Santo Muchante Sarvapilvishahi. Only a devotee who takes the remnants of the Yagya is freed from all the sins. Bhunjate te dogam papa yapachantyatma karana. Whoever just thinks about enjoying the benefits, when you say remnants, what is the meaning of remnants? Whatever you get, whatever you receive as a blessings. Generally, we think remnants means only whatever food you give, that food you give. But that food is also blessings. When you get that blessings, naturally when you take that when you take the blessings, you are free from the sins. But if you use that remnants for your gratification, without even offering, not remnants, we're not talking about the remnants. Bhunjate te takam papa, ye pachantyatma karana. That means he wants to enjoy the material benefits. When he feels to enjoy the material benefit, he is bound. He is only eating sin. Two meanings are there in this. One is gross meaning. Okay, I am not performing it. I am not getting any remnants. Okay. So what I am doing, I am trying to directly take it. I will incur sin. I have offered it. I take the remnants. I will not incur sin. Now, why Santa word is used? Because Santa word is used, it is the yajna should be done with knowledge. Yajna, this name, very name of yajna refers to Krishna. That means when you perform yajna, you should know that the remnants are given by Krishna to us. The offerings are done to Krishna and they are giving to us. And then a person will understand that it's a prasadam of Krishna. On the other hand, a person thinks, oh, I am doing for a particular devata, I get the benefit, I will enjoy. There he is not Santa. He is not a devotee. Because for any demigod, the word comes upasak. Upasana, upasaka. The word comes upasak, upasana. So, with an understanding that Yajna Devata is actually Krishna only. Yajna in charge, you can say, or Yajna Adhishthana Devata is Krishna only. Other all Devatas are only Madhyama. They take and give it to Krishna. Yajna means only Krishna. Now, 14th verse. How this whole system functions. Why we work hard? To eat, isn't it? Why we eat? To work hard. It's a circle. Okay. What we eat? We eat the grains. How the grains come? Because of the rains. And then in this way, our body is dependent on food grains. Food grains are dependent on the rains. And the rains come. Why rains come? Because Indra is pleased. Indra is pleased. Okay. To allow Indra to give rains. Who has given permission? It's Krishna. That means Indra is also under Krishna only. That means this yajna, these rains come out of yajna, and these yajnas How these yajnas are performed then? By the people who are performing prescribed duties. If you perform prescribed duties, naturally you are earning something. When you earn something, then only you can give something. Sacrifice means what? You should have something na, with you. Like I want to give rice. Naturally, I should have rice to give rice. So the yajnas are done out of prescribed duties. Okay. What is then prescribed duty? Immediately, I'm just explaining the verse, and then we'll go to the verse. Okay. Karma. Yajnas are dependent on karma. These karmas come from where? Who has taught about the karmas? Oh, the karmas are given in the Vedas. Okay, wonderful. Okay. Vedas are given by whom? By Supreme Personality of Godhead. You see, Guma Firake, where it has gone? Round, 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 it is going to Krishna only. Our body is dependent on grains. Grains are dependent on rains. Rains are dependent on yakya. Yakya is dependent on prescribed duty. Prescribed duties are dependent on Vedas. Vedas are dependent on Krishna. So naturally, who is situated in all the sacrifice? Ultimately, see, it's like equation, isn't it? When you teach mathematics, chemistry, mathematics, Anupama, you are a professor. So what do? You try to ultimately come to the conclusion. And what is its conclusion now? Yes. In every act of sacrifice, who is situated? It is transcendence, all pervading transcendence. Now, see, Krishna is not telling his name. Huh? I am situated, I am situated. He is not telling that. That Supreme Brahman is situated. Slowly, he will come to the place where he says that Supreme Brahman is mute. So, in this way, like you show lollipop na, to the children, the Mayavadis have to be brought out, the Brahmavadis have to be brought out. Ultimately, they have to be brought to the practical way of surrendering to Krishna Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja. How it will happen? Only when a person understands that ultimately who is that person who is in charge of everything? That is Krishna. So let us lay this together. Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavah yagyad bhavati parjanyo yagya karma samudbhavah. Annad bhavanti bhutani. How we are living? We are living on grains. And you will say, no, there are people who eat non-veg. No problem. Eat non-veg. But when you're eating a non-vegetarian thing, that like they eat chicken, okay? But the chicken is dependent on what? Grain. No? Dependent on grain. Ultimately, you are indirectly taking the grain. You are killing an animal, but that animal, like goat, is killed. The goat is eating grass. At least the goat has the buddhi to eat grass. But a human can go to any extent. He is eating the goat. But that means you are also dependent on the grains. If the grains were not there, the goat would have not been there. That means ultimately all are dependent on rains because the grains come from rain and the rains come from yagyad bhavanti parjanyo. Parjanyo means rains. Comes from yagya. The rains are dependent on the sacrifice. And who can do the sacrifice? Only when a person is performing prescribed duty. And to perform a prescribed duty, a Brahmana is very important to perform an yajna. I went to one beautiful Dividesha, Kattumannar Kovil. It is a place of the birthplace of spiritual master of Ramanujacharya. This uh, Yamunacharya. His grandfather's also birthplace, it is Nathani. He is talking to Pujari. Pujari said, this Kali-yuga is very wonderful. I said, how? Sri Sadhu. Sadhu means all wishes, all good wishes to the Sri. All blessings, all blessings. So, bhar ke blessings are there for a female. Sri means what? Female. All blessings, Shudra Sadhu. All blessings are there for whom? Shudras. And if you think wrong about a person within your mind, still you will not incur sin till you act. That means thought Other yugas, even if you think wrong, you'll be punished. But in this yuga, even if you think wrong, till it is not brought to action, you are not punished. So these three advantages of Kali Yuga was told. Then he told Shudra Sadhu. Shudras are getting a lot of blessings. But a Brahmana, what about a Brahmana? A Brahmana, if he says, I am a Brahmana, he will incur sin. Why? Because nowadays Brahmanas, they go to office, they are not doing their prescribed duties. Like a Brahmana has a prescribed duty, waking up early in the morning, 3 times a day, and he has to perform the yajnas. He's Shatkarya. Shatkarya is done by the Brahmanas. Now, which Brahmanas are doing Shatkarya? Only few handful people. Shatkarya. Shatkarya means performing yajna, getting yajna done, giving dan, getting dan, giving mantra, getting mantra. This is the work of a Brahmana. Now, if a Brahmana is not doing his duty, he will incur sin. So, what I do is, oh Mataji, what I tell to Lord, oh Lord, I am your servant. Who is a servant? He is a Shudra. So, though I am born in a Brahmin family, please consider me as Shudra only, so that even suppose I forget to do prescribed duty, I am saved. So that is why the pride comes. I am a Brahmana, gone. But here Krishna says he has to perform his prescribed duty. So who performs yajna? It is not Shudras perform yajna. It is not Kshatriyas also. The Kshatriyas can do only when a Brahmana is not there. A Brahmin does the yajna. So that prescribed duty is taught where? In the Vedas. And Vedas are given by Krishna. That verse also will read and take. And then Gauranga, you will read 14 and Rajat Prabhu will read 15. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasma sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam. So how the regulated activities are prescribed, they are given in the Vedas. And from where the Vedas emanate? From the breath of Lord. When Lord breathes, Vedas emanate. When Lord opens mouth, what emanates? Bhagavad Gita. When Lord speaks, Bhagavad Gita emanates. When Lord breathes, it is Vedas. Vedas is complete knowledge. Tasmat, tasmat means therefore. Sarvagatam Brahma. Sarvagatam Brahma, who is all pervading. Who is a person who is pervading everywhere? Krishna. You saw Narasimha movie? The Narasimha movie, Narasimha says, he shows Prahlad that I am there in the pillar, I am there here, I am there in the tree. The first darshan happens, and then. Have you seen Gauranga Narasimha movie? No? You should see. Now it is put in all the theaters. You should go and see. They're beautiful. Lord appears, Narayana appears to Prahlada and says that if you want me to see everywhere, if I should not be lost, then you will get these blessings. So wherever he sees Krishna. Sthavar Jangama dekhe na dekhe Tara Murti. Sarvatra hoye nija Ishtadeva Smriti. What is he seeing? He sees Krishna everywhere. Even in immovable things, in the movable things. So Sarvagatam Brahma, that person who is residing everywhere. Nityam Yajne Pratishtitam. He is there in every act of sacrifice. Foolish people, they think we are doing sacrifice for some demigod. No. That is why the last it said Kayana Vacha Manisendriyadva Buddhatana Sabhava Karumyat Sakam Prasmai Narayanayadi Samarpayami. Everything belongs to Narayana. Okay, and how is this Narayana? Sandrananda. How Narayanam starts? How Narayanam starts? Narayanam is nothing but 10th canto Bhagavatam. It starts with the word Sandrananda. That means it's a condensed form of bliss. Okay, so in this way now start reading. Gauranga.
Yajnat bhavanti bhutani parjanya anna sambhava yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhava. Translation: all living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. Purport: Srila Baladev Vidyabhushana, a great commentator on The Bhagavad Gita writes as follows: Ye Indradi Angatayavastitam Yagnam Sarveshwaram Vishnum Abhyarchat Abhyarcha Tachesam Ashnanti Tena Taddeha Yatram Sampadayanti Teshnanta Sarveshwarasya Yagnapurushasya Bhakta Sarvakilbhishair Anadi Kalavivreder Atmanubhava Pratibandhakair Nikilai Papai Vimuchante. The Supreme Lord who is known as the Yajna Purusha, or the personal beneficiary of all sacrifices, is the master of all the demigods, who serve him as the different limbs of the body serve the whole. Demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna are appointed officers who manage material affairs, and the Vedas direct sacrifices to satisfy these demigods, so that they may be pleased to supply air, light, and water sufficiently to produce food grains. When Lord Krishna is worshipped, the demigods who are different limbs of the Lord are also automatically worshipped. Therefore, there is no separate need to worship the demigods. For this reason, the devotees of the Lord who are in Krishna consciousness offer food to Krishna and then eat, a process which nourishes the body spiritually. By such action, not only are past sinful reactions in the body vanquished, but the body becomes immunized to all contamination of material nature. When there is an epidemic disease, an antiseptic vaccine protects a person from the attack of such an epidemic. Similarly, food offered to Lord Vishnu and then taken by us makes us sufficiently resistant to material affection, and one who is accustomed to this practice is called the devotee of the Lord. Therefore, a person in Krishna consciousness who eats only food offered to Krishna can counteract all reactions of past material infections, which are impediments to the progress of self realization. On the other hand, one who does not do so continues to increase the volume of sinful action, and this prepares the next body to resemble hogs and dogs, to suffer the resultant reactions of all sins. The material world is full of contamination, and one who is immunized by accepting prasadam of the Lord, food offered to Vishnu, is saved from the attack, whereas one who does not do so becomes subjected to contamination. Food grains or vegetables are factually eatables. The human being eats different kinds of food grains, vegetables, fruits, etc., and the animals eat the refuse of the food grains and vegetables, grass, plants, etc. Human beings who are accustomed to eating meat and flesh must also depend on the production of vegetation in order to eat the animals. Therefore, ultimately, we have to depend on the production of the field and not on the production of big factories. The field production is due to sufficient rain from the sky, and such rains are controlled by demigods like Indra, sun, moon, etc., and they are all servants of the Lord. The Lord can be satisfied by sacrifices. Therefore, one who cannot perform them will find himself in scarcity. That is the law of nature. Yajna, specifically the Sankirtana Yajna prescribed for this age, must therefore be performed to save us at least from scarcity of food supply. Hare Krishna.
कर्म
Next,
ब्रह्मोद्भवं कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि ब्रह्माक्षर समुद्भवं तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म नित्यं विज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. Purport. Yajnartha karma, or the necessity of work for the satisfaction of Krishna only, is more expressly stated in this verse. If we have to work for the satisfaction of the Yajna Purusha Vishnu, then we must find out the direction of work in Brahman or the transcendental Vedas. Vedas are therefore codes of working directions. Anything performed without direction of Vedas is called vikarma or unauthorized or sinful work. Therefore, one should always take direction from the Vedas to be saved from the reaction of work. As one has to work ordinary life by direction of the state, one similarly has to work under the direction of the supreme state of the Lord. Such directions in the Vedas are directly manifested from the breathing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is said, Asya Mahato Budasya Vishwa Nishwasitam etat yat Rigvedo Yajurveda Samavedo Tarvangirasaha. The four Vedas, namely the Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda, are all emanations from the breathing of the great personality of Godhead. Bharat Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 4.1.11. The Lord, being omnipotent, can speak by breathing air, for as it is confirmed by the Brahma Samhita, the Lord has the omnipotence to perform through each of his senses the actions of all other senses. In other words, the Lord can speak through his breathing and he can impregnate by his eyes. In fact, it is said that he glanced over material nature and thus fathered all living entities. After creating or implicating the conditioned souls into the womb of material nature, he gave his directions in the Vedic wisdom as to how such conditioned souls can return home back to Godhead. We should always remember that the conditioned souls in material nature are all eager for material enjoyment. But the Vedic directions are so made that one can satisfy one's preserved, perverted desires, then return to Godhead having finished his so-called enjoyment. It is a chance for the conditioned souls to attain liberation. Therefore, the conditioned souls must try to follow the process of yajna by becoming Krishna conscious. Even those who have not followed the Vedic injunctions may adopt the principles of Krishna consciousness and thus will take the place of performance of Vedic yajnas or karmas. Hare Krishna.
So beautifully it is been explained that how Lord resides in everything. Slowly see how Krishna is, how nicely first Santa has been told, and then you take the remnants. If you don't take the remnants, so when you take the remnants, whose remnants you're taking? Whose remnants? That is a question mark. No? You're taking Ganapati's remnants, or Durga's remnants, or Shivji's remnants, or Krishna's remnants. In every act of sacrifice, who is presiding? That's the Brahman is serving. See how tactfully Krishna is introducing this. Then, evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayah aghayorindriya ramo moham pati sajivati evam pravartitam chakram. So this is all established in the Vedas. Chakram. Na anuvartyati. If he is not adopting this in this life, what will happen? Aghayu. Agha means sins. Ayu. His life is full of sins. If he doesn't understand, ultimately all the sacrifice goes to Krishna only. Like a doctor gives you medicine. The potency to give the medicine or the intelligence to give the medicine is given by whom? Krishna. In the same way, when a person is in difficulty, sometimes it is recommended you do this yajna, you do this yajna. But ultimately, why it is given? So that Krishna is not disturbed. Krishna is given has given certain departments. If you want a good wife, okay, you worship this person. You want material things. No? You want material things, go to material doctors. I have given them the intelligence to give you whatever material benefits you want. At the same time, if a devotee is there, what he does, he understands that these material benefits are also given by Krishna. So what he'll do, though he has gone to somebody to take a medicine, he knows that the power to give that medicine is given by Krishna. At least Krishna is not lost even for a fraction of a second. Aghayur India Ramo Mogham passes. So this person, he is only living for the satisfaction of his senses. Such a person lives his life in vain. A devotee, when he takes to some yajnas, some yajnas are recommended, then When he gets the benefit, it is not for his sense gratification. He is asking so that all the hurdles, whatever is gone, whatever is there, that should not be there, so that he can serve Krishna more nicely. That is the difference. There are devotees who do some yajnas, they recommend also. There are Vaishnavas also who recommend that you do this yajna. Immediately you should not say, hey, see, we should not do the yajna. No, yajnas are given by Lord. Sahayajna Prajaputta. Why he is given? So that there will be uh, the desires are there, desires will be fulfilled, material advancement will be there. Okay, all these things are wonderful. But if it is for sense gratification, it's not wonderful. It's only going to increase it. If your material benefits are increasing, if you have a lot of money, what you can do? Naturally, you will serve temple more. What a devotee will do if he has more money? Will he go to theatre and sit? Will he go to some clubs and pubs? No. He will use it for Krishna. Given by Krishna, it is of Krishna, it is for Krishna. When I went this time to Divination, certain divinations I was seeing, so many conversations and people, conversions have happened. Many are Muslims, so many Muslim mosques are there, and practically the divinations are like birthplace of alvas. And intentionally everywhere chicken is cut, something is hanged, all those things. Just entering the temple, huh? The Brahmanas have become so weak. I felt like to cry. I cried in one place and I was just praying, Lord, oh Lord, give us so much money so that we can do some renovation and see that give me so much of capacity that I go and preach in such places. And you'll not believe there was a person who was telling Mataji, please come and preach in South. There are practically so many conversions are happening. And Brahmanas, if you see, oh, they have become so weak. Because if somebody comes to temple, then only they will give. Na? If they don't give, then what they are going to eat? Just they have become like skeletons. So we are only thinking of having big temples and all those things, but if we really go to certain Divyadesham, which is very powerful, just see, even they could have left the place. But because Lord Himself has appeared there, these Brahmanas are still maintaining the temple. I'm just praying, Lord, give me the capacity in such a way that I serve Srila Prabhupada the best. Prabhupada will be very happy if we do all this work. Prabhupada wanted our Vedic culture to be brought back. And where is this Vedic culture? It is there in the Vedation. So in this way, a devotee, when he performs yajna, he is asking for Krishna, for serving Krishna. But a materialistic person, if he wants some money, will use it for the satisfaction of his senses, then he will incur only sin. Okay, so I'll read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. Shlok number 60. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayah aghayurindriya ramo mogam partha sajivati. Translations and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Sharana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such person lives in vain. Purport. The philosophy of work very hard and enjoy sense gratification is condemned here in the Lord. Those who enjoy this work, one who does resolutions is living a very risky life. More and more. By nature's law, this human form of life is specifically meant for self-realization in either of the three ways, namely Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga. There is no necessity of rigidly following the performances of the prescribed yajnas for the transcendental life.
Anupama, you read, I think her collectivity is not proper. Anupama, read the whole thing.
एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्र
Yeah.
नानुवर्तयति हय अघायुरिन्द्रियारामो मोघं पार्थ स जीवति. My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain. The Mammonist philosophy of work very hard and enjoy sense gratification is condemned herein by the Lord. Therefore, for those who want to enjoy this material world, the above mentioned cycle of performing yajnas is absolutely necessary. One who does not follow such regulations is living a very risky life, being condemned more and more. By nature's law, this human form of life is specifically meant for self-realization in either of the three ways, namely karma yoga, jnana yoga, or bhakti yoga. There is no necessity of rigidly following the performances of the prescribed yajnas for the transcendentalists who are above vice and virtue. But those who are engaged in sense gratification require purification by the above mentioned cycle of yajna performances. There are different kinds of activities. Those who are not Krishna conscious are certainly engaged in sensory consciousness. Therefore, they need to execute pious work. The yajna system is planned in such a way that sensory conscious persons may satisfy their desires without becoming entangled in the reaction of sense gratificatory work. The prosperity of the world depends not on our own efforts, but on background arrangement of the Supreme Lord, directly carried out by the demigods. Therefore, the yajnas are directly aimed at the particular demigods mentioned in the Vedas. Indirectly, it is a practice of Krishna consciousness. Because when one masters the performance of yajnas, one is sure to become Krishna conscious. But if by performing yajnas one does not become Krishna conscious, such principles are counted as only moral codes. One should not, therefore, limit his progress only to the point of moral codes, but should transcend them to attain Krishna consciousness.
Yes. To attain Krishna consciousness, one should not therefore limit his progress only to the point of moral codes. That means don't try to become only a good person. Be a divine person. And divinity extends to having compassion for everyone. A good person, he only thinks about himself. How I should be good, I should behave good. No, divinity is something beyond, where real compassion you have for everyone. Now, 17th verse. Now, what confused Arjuna in this chapter? Why fourth chapter should start? Or why fifth chapter? Again, the question has been asked. We told, na, last time we did 2.7, 3.2, 5.1. Yeah. So 2.7 we did now. How this question goes on increasing. How it increases. The degree is increasing. So why 5.1 came? Now Krishna should have removed his confusion in this only chapter. Third chapter became, fourth chapter became, again he is in confusion. This is because of this verse, 17th verse, right now. Like 2 point, you had 47, 49, like this here also, 3.17 and the last verse of fourth chapter. These two verses confuse actually. Let us see this verse. Yasmatmara, yastvatmartireva syat, atmadruptascha manavaham, atmanyeva cha santushtas, tasya karyam na vidyate. Yastvatmartireva syat, who is taking pleasure, atmaratihi, he is taking pleasure in the self. Very good, wonderful. Okay. Atma truptaha. So he is always truptaha, satisfied. self-illuminated, satisfied. Such a person, he is only with himself. Atmani evaha cha santushtas. He is so santushtah, triptaha, santushtah. So that person has no work, no duty. And Arjuna will say, yes, I'll sit before you only, Lord. And then I'm enjoying myself. Who is myself? Myself is Krishna only. I and myself. I is soul and myself is Krishna. Though then I am enjoying with you. That means I don't have any duty. Oh, so wonderful. So Arjuna thought Krishna is saying there is no duty for a person who takes pleasure in the self. But then you see the fourth chapter last verse. Just go to the fourth chapter last verse, where Krishna says, "Tasmad sambhutam rtastam ज्ञानासिनात्मनः स्थित्वैनं संशयं योगम उत्तिष्ठ भारत." Oh, get up and fight. Just now you told her no duty. If you are atmatriptaha, atmasantustah, now here Krishna says yogam, yogam uttishtah, stand up to fight. Why a person will stand up to fight? If he is a Kshatriya, he has to stand up and fight. So in this way, these two verses used Arjuna. That is why fifth chapter, first verse is in more deeper way. He saying, first you be fixed up, and definitely tell me what is that one thing which is good for me. You are always speaking two things. I am completely confused. One place you say that durena yavaram karma. Another place you say karmanni vadikaraste. In this place you are saying karyam na vidyate. There is no work. So I was just thinking I'll just go out of this war. And then suddenly you say uttishta. So is it not confusing? So tell me one thing which is good for me. Okay. So then we'll read Jai Shri read. Where is Jai Shri? Okay, Sudha read. Mana, Sudha. If you don't read now, I'm going to mark you absent, even though you're present.
Hare Krishna Mataji. May I read? Yes,
Read,
tat,
read.
Yes.
yes, tatva atmarati eva sayad atmatriptascha manavah atmane eva cha santushtas tasya karma na vidhyate. Translation. But for one who
Wait,
takes
wait.
pleasure
Tell
in
me
the
this place. Wait. Read after me. यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्यात्. यस्त्वात्म. Read.
Hello Mataji, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yastvātma. Chant.
Yes, tatva,
Huh? Yastvātma.
yes,
Yes.
tatva, yes, tatmartireva,
Why twa? Why are you doing twa? Do twa.
tva,
Yastvātma.
yes, tva atma,
Yastvātma. Twātma.
yes, tvatma
Ratir.
ratir
Eva syāt.
eva sa
Give
atmatraptascha
big Hindu
manav.
now. Put in the mouth and open your mouth. Syad means not syad. Syad. Open your mouth.
Syad
Ah. Atma.
atmatraptascha manavah
Very good. Atmanyeva.
atmane eva cha santushtas
One.
atmane
Atman.
atmane eva cha santushtas
I mean,
tasya
you know to
karam.
read Hindi. You know to read Hindi, Sanskrit. Why are you looking at the English and you are completely confused? Atmanyeva. You don't have to join first of all. If you are reading in English, then you should know to join. Atmanyeva.
Atmane eva
Huh? Atmanyeva.
Atmaneyeva.
Yeva, why you're saying? Atmanyeva.
Atmaneyeva.
Double time yeah, why you're saying? Why E is what? Ye na? Atmanyeva.
Atmaneyeva.
Ah, cha santushtas.
Cha santushtas.
Tasya
Tasya
karyam na vidyate.
karyam na vidyate.
Very good. Now you should practice. See, if you're reading in English, no problem. Atman yeva. So immediately you can at least
Atmaneva cha santushtas. Tasya karyam na vidyate.
go ahead.
Translation. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty. Purport. A person who is fully Krishna conscious and is fully satisfied by his acts in Krishna consciousness no longer has any duty to perform. Due to his being Krishna conscious, all impurity within is instantly cleansed, an effect of many thousands of yajna performances. By such clearing of consciousness, one becomes fully confident of his eternal position in relationship with the Supreme. His duty thus becomes self illuminated by the grace of the Lord, and therefore he no longer has any obligations to the Vedic injunctions. Such a Krishna conscious person is no longer interested in material activities and no longer takes pleasure in material arrangements like wine, women, and similar infatuations. Thanks. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, next is Atman yeva santushtas. Krishna says, if you are satisfied, then you have no work. Now, naturally, the question is, oh Lord, I'm really satisfied. I don't want to fight. He tells, no, I don't want to fight. I'm satisfied. Okay, next. नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो नाकृतेनेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चित् अर्थ कश्चित् अर्थविपाश्रयः नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो न एव तस्य कृतेनार्थो. Actually, for the self-realized soul, he has no work. He has no purpose for doing any work. Because he's satisfied, na? Is there any purpose to do a work? There should be some karanam. Now, why a person is earning? Okay, then he can go, he can buy some vegetables, he can eat. Now, I saw one Swamiji. For 30 years, that person is only in is Jayapataka Swami Sishya. And for 30 years, now in the Sri Rangam Yatra, he was with us only. He stays in Himalayas. He was first in Infosys, something I don't know, some big engineer he was. He left everything. At the age of 30, he left. Now he's 60. He does 2 times Govardhan Parikrama every day, morning and evening. In between, he only eats kakadi. He is only eating kakadi. And that too somebody gives and he eats. He doesn't wear chappal. I told, and then 64 rounds chanting every day on top of it. He told Mataji, actually, this is not tamasic tapasya which I'm doing. So why are you doing? I don't know. I just chant 64 rounds. Morning and evening, I just go on walking. Somebody gives me kakadi. I am. Infosys big. He was in a big position. And then 6 months in Vrindavan, 6 months in Himalayas with ice. He may say, I'm a self-realized soul. Why should I work? Okay. I don't have any purpose to work. But Prabhupada has not appreciated such type of austerity. Because there you're only thinking about yourself. Prabhupada did austerity for the benefit of everyone. That is real austerity. Okay, here austerity you will get benefit. Yes, you will get benefit. Krishna sees so much of tapasya person is doing, and he'll be benefited. But do such a tapasya where others are also benefited. Just don't think about yourself. They said there are three type of people. Purusha, write down and Purusha Adhama, Purusha Madhyama, Purusho Uttama. Krishna's name is Purushottama. Na? Now we are going to Uttama in Sri Ranga. Purusha Adhama, Purusha Madhyama, Purusha Uttama. Purusha Adhama means what? Let the people suffer, get lost. I should be happy. This is Adhama, Purusha Adhama. Purusha Madhyama, I should also be happy, they should also be happy. Purusha Uttama, let all be happy. And for their happiness, if I have to take trouble, I am ready to do that. So the nature of Purushottama is what? He is really a self-realized soul, and that person is ready to take any amount of difficulty for the benefit of others. That is Purushottama. So is not our Srila Prabhupada coming in the category of Purushottama? For everyone's benefit, even what he got. What did he? Ultimately, if you ask what was his material life, what did he get? So that is how a self-realized soul need not have any, he doesn't have any purpose to work. Very good. At the same time, न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु, न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु, nor has he any reason for not performing the work. He has no purpose to do the work. At the same time, he has no reason for not doing the work. So if he does a work, there is no material cause. He does it for Krishna. If he is not doing the work, then again, there should not be any personal motives. So if I do austerity and if I go on telling to everyone I'm doing this, I'm doing that, gone. That means if I'm not doing, there should not be any reason also for not doing. If I'm doing, again, there should not be any material reason for not doing. Nice, no, this was. No reason for no things. Not doing also no reason, doing also no reason. Nor has he any need to depend on any other living entity. He doesn't have to depend on anyone. He only depends on Krishna. I asked him, how do you get something? Yoga Kshema Mahamyam Krishna gives me whenever I go. And in that he's traveling also everywhere. Now the Vedesham was traveling. Somebody something gives and goes. Yoga Kshema Maham. Krishna is there to protect everyone. Okay. So everybody go. It was, we'll stop here. Chandrapati Prabhu, you unmute yourself.
Yeah, disconnecting. 3.18, right? Chapter 3, Sloka 18. नैव तस्य कृते नार्थो न कृतेन कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चित् अर्थव्यपाश्रय. Translation: a self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor he has need to depend on any other living being. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai ho. A self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duties, save and except activities in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man, or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligations. This is end of purport for sloka 18. So I have to continue text 19 also.
Oh no, over.
Okay, thank you.
Now
Hare
we
Krishna.
meet on. Any questions? We'll meet on Monday. Monday, Wednesday, again to cover up the portion I may take on Friday also. Okay? Jagad Krishna, passing the Jagad Pavan. Vaishnavi Guru, Vaishnavi Jai Shri Prabhupada Jai.
Gautam, make somebody host or end the class. Gautam.